welcome to your lesson on page 6 in your Sound Innovations book for flute. Make sure you have your flute all out and ready to go, and make sure you're also turned to page 6. This lesson is going to go through all of page 6. Remember, some of these pages might take a couple of weeks for you to get through. Some pages you might get through rather quickly. So some weeks you'll go faster, some weeks will be a little slower. This page is going to continue working on those 3 notes that we learned for page 5. It's going to continue working on your B flat. So remember your B flat fingering. Your thumb goes on the bottom, your first finger, and then in your right hand, it's just your pinky and your first finger. So thumb, first finger, pinky is down for your B flat. Your C is just your pinky in your right hand and just your first finger. And then your D is kind of that funkier one. In your right hand, it is your first 3 fingers, no pinky. And then in your left hand, it's your thumb underneath and your second 2 fingers. So there's no first finger and no pinkies. Otherwise, everything is down. So those are the 3 notes that this page is going to use. It is also, if you look on the page, there is only whole notes or whole note rests. Remember, the whole note gets 4 beats. Ta, ah, ah, ah. So you hold that out for 4 beats. A whole note rest, you rest for 4 beats. And you count the word rest 4 times to yourself. As we go down the page, anything new that comes up, I'll talk about it. So we're going to start with 3-note combo number 6 on page 6. So get your flute up and ready. I'll give you just a moment, and then we're going to play along together. So 3-note combo. Whoop, sorry about that. Let me just disable my notifications. Sorry about that. All right, 3-note combo. So here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Rest, 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 rest. Rest, 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 rest. Rest, 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 rest. Rest, 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 rest. And that would be 3-note combo. Remember, when you start each note, you get that ta sound, that T sound, that little explosion of air, just like when you have something stuck on the tip of your lips. You do that little to try to get it off. That's what you want to do through the flute. So if you need to go through 3-note combo a few more times, just back the recording up and you can keep going through it, or just pause it and do it on your own a few times. And that's going to be the same way for each line. I'm going to play through each line once, and you are free to take it back and rewind it a bit if you need to, or just move the slider. Rewind is kind of a thing of the past. But you can move it backwards and redo it as many times as you want, or just pause this lesson and do it on your own a few times. So we're going to go on to 3rd time's the charm. This one starts on our note D. So remember, D is the first 3 fingers in your right hand, the second 2 fingers in your left hand, and your thumb are down. Starts on D. So here we go. 3rd time's the charm. I'll give you a second to get your flute up and ready. Nice ta sound to start each note. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, ready, go. Rest, 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 rest. Rest, 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 rest. Rest, 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 rest. And that is 3rd time's the charm. So again, feel free to rewind it if you need to. Now we're going to move down to song number 8, Match the Pitch. You're going to see 2 things in this. You're going to see the word solo. Solo means that you are the only one playing. You're just playing by yourself. Sometimes if you're playing with somebody accompanying you, you might have a piano player playing with you, but you're the soloist. You're the one that's playing all the melodies for the most part. So in a band, sometimes you might have a solo that stands out above everybody else and the band is accompanying you. So in this one, you're going to take turns playing. You're going to play when it says solo and band. Can't really practice this one as much in here because it's just you right now. But eventually, once we have band rehearsal, we could actually practice this where one person plays the solo part and then the band plays the band part. So for right now, I just want you to play through the whole line. Now the really nice thing about this is now you got to start playing note to note. There's no space between each note. So normally you've had time to move your fingers from note to note. Now you have to go straight to the next note. So you got to start getting a little better with your fingerings, going straight from C to D to C to B flat and jumping around a little bit. So we're going to start match the pitch. Remember, it goes note to note to note. There is no break in between. Okay? So here we go. Match the pitch. Give you a second to get your flute up and ready. 1, 2, ready, go. Match the pitch. Remember, each time you play a note, take a nice big breath. Don't raise your shoulders way up like this. When you breathe in, your stomach goes out, not up and tight. You don't want to get that kind of weird and bad sound that happens when you lift your shoulders up. All right, number 9, we're going to see a new symbol. It's called a breath mark. And it looks like a little comma, and you see it right there that I just circled. It just looks like a little comma above the line. It's a great place that gives you a suggestion when to take a breath, because I wouldn't want to talk like this. It's awkward. You can't understand everything. It's breaking up what I'm saying. Normally you take a big breath, you say your sentence, and then you take another breath. Same idea in music. You wouldn't want to go ba da 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 da. You want to go ba da da dum. Ba-da-da-dum, ba-da-dum. So you're going to breathe in the right spot so it doesn't break up the music, just like you would breathe in the right spot so it doesn't break up your talking. This, in number 9, you're going to see a breath after every whole note. So you can take a breath there when you need to. Eventually in your music, you'll write those little breath marks in yourself as little reminders. Make sure you breathe here. And eventually you'll get into some other symbols we'll talk about that'll help you on what type of breath you need to take. But for right now, whenever you see that little comma, that's a suggested place to breathe. If you don't need to breathe there and you can go till the next one, then go right ahead. But it's a special spot that it's just telling you this is a good spot to breathe. So here we go, a breath of fresh air. Remember, this one goes from note to note. And again, it's on whole notes, which gets 4 beats. Ta, ah, ah, ah. Here we go. Number 9, a breath of fresh air. I'll give you a second to get your flute up and get your fingers on the D note. 1, 2, ready, go. A breath of fresh air. Remember, when you have fingers up, don't leave them sticking way up in the air. Especially now that we're going from note to note, you want your fingers down and ready to move right to that next note. It's really hard when your fingers are way up high. All right, number 10, breathing easy. This is another one. Just keeps changing notes. It's going to start jumping around a little bit more now. Instead of going up note by note, B, C, D, D, C, B, it's going to go B, C, D, B. So it's going to have jumps in notes instead of going up or down by one note. Here we go. Breathing easy. Starts on your B flat. So first finger, thumb. First finger, pinky. Here we go. Breathing easy. 1, 2, ready, go. That is breathing easy. Now we're going to go down to 3Z Does It. Last song on the page, number 11. This one's going to jump around a little bit more. So here we go. Starts on your D this time. So get your fingers ready on that D note. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. And that is all of page 6 in your Sound Innovations book. So make sure, if you need to, go back and replay songs. I want you to make sure you get really good at each of these songs before you move on. Remember, each page gets a little more challenging than the page before it. So you don't want to move on to something a little harder if you can't do the things on the page before it. So make sure you really work on this page this week. You can take the video back and pause it and practice on your own without me. You can replay songs, move it around as you need, so you can get all the practice you need on each of these songs. So I will see you next time when we go over page 7.